Okay. Well.
Wow.
Shall we get started?
Yeah, I guess.
Hi, I'm Amy.
No,
And
you're
I'm
not.
Sam. And I'm Sam.
You make me sound like a gremlin.
Quit imitating me, Sam.
Wow.
I love how you like punch your back into everything.
I gotta get into it.
I just drop my head down and then underbite and I like grin as hard as I can.
Hey. Hi, my name's Amy.
Stop.
This is the Average Joe Show. I like to draw.
I almost spat out my drink.
I got a cloud 9 because I don't like changing up the drinks I get.
Wow.
Well, hey, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
No, I can't keep that up. My voice is gonna hurt.
My jaw hurts.
Wow. That was something, alright.
Now I know what to do for the thumbnail since it's the Multiverse of Madness.
Hi, I'm Amy from other multiverse. I'm from the universe where
Not the big eyes.
I'm Amy.
Stop.
I'm from the universe where everybody sniffs each other's butts.
So it's all dogs?
No.
No.
We also walk around on our forelegs and have a lot of hair. And we...
Stop with making your eyes wide. I look over and he's like, ooh. I'm like, stop.
Pass out. Oh my goodness.
Well, hello, Amy from other universe. I'm Sam. Welcome to the podcast.
No,
Tell me about yourself.
I'm gonna kill her.
You can't kill me.
I'm invincible.
I am indestructible. You there?
Stop! Can you see his big eyes or no?
You like how I don't like looking up, I just look straight down.
Yeah. Stop.
So what are we talking about today?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Y'all want to see a murder on camera?
We
You
don't
want
have
to
it.
hear a murder on a podcast?
Yeah, we don't really have it.
Well,
There can only be one.
there she goes.
Amy, what night did you do?
There can only be one. Don't mourn for her death. She doesn't deserve it. No, die.
You pay for that. I'm just gonna take a nap.
Good riddance, you filthy animal.
I liked her. She was cool.
No.
I wonder what everybody else in that multiverse is like.
I'm Sam.
Stop!
Okay, I really don't like this guy.
I never said anything about liking you either.
Well,
We're rounding it up.
yeah. What are we drinking today?
We haven't even said hi.
I agree.
No. Get out of here.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome to the Average Joe Show, where we kill our multiverse selves.
You better not. I mean, you did. Or did you? Wait, my sister, Amy. What did you do?
Wow.
Well,
I'm the
that.
real Amy.
I'm the real Amy.
No, you're not.
I'm the real Amy.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Because we're in the multiverse.
Whoa. Maddening, isn't it? Whoa. I hate this episode.
We'll just cut it there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Well, like, comment,
10
subscribe.
minutes.
So what are we doing today, guys? No, let's go through our drinks really quick.
Oh my god.
Guys, I got a Dizzle. It's a Sprite with pineapple and
This is-
orange, I think. No, it's pineapple and coconut cream.
This is payback.
I don't know, Sam. Don't look at me.
This is payback for the last episode.
Yeah.
No, we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a lot of carbs and caffeine in me at the moment.
Yeah,
That
you
nap
don't.
didn't do.
I didn't take a nap.
Oh,
I did not.
I did not.
I got a cloud 9.
her-
No half and half.
Her usual.
The huge. The huge.
I got a different drink today. I looked at like the online menu and I'm like, I haven't seen this one in years.
Wow, can you guys guess what it is that he totally didn't say like 2 minutes ago?
It's the Dizzle.
The for Dizzle.
Whoa.
And I got
I'm gonna scoot that back.
Okay.
I got an endless summer,
Whoa.
which is I can't remember Mountain Dew.
Passion? No, not passion fruit. Pomegranate?
No.
Pomegranate, grapefruit, and a lime.
May I have some?
No, you're supposed to be dead! Don't make me get the boots out.
Get the boots!
Oh my god.
Like I said earlier,
Nobody
you
can
can't
kill her.
kill me.
Please.
I'm gonna get the boots out again.
But this will hurt
Somebody
this
kill her,
time.
please.
It will hurt this time.
Because it made it not hurt last time. It's a weird cycle I live in. Every few hits I can take.
Dead
But after that, I take the hit
man.
and it hurts.
Times like
Are
this,
you in the
there
same
There
uni-
should be a camera.
I know.
Are you in the same universe as the Pizza Ball Man?
No.
Boy, I wish.
Well, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we talking about today, Hayden?
We're talking about Mom.
Whoa, my mom?
My mom!
Otherwise known as Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange #2.
Zooey mom.
Rewrite.
Yeah,
This is it's personal this time.
Is that the title of it?
No.
no, that's the title of the recap episode.
I just kept adding on,
Personal. Oh,
adding on to the title.
electric
But I
boogaloo.
Yeah, this is part 3 of the recap series.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about just like the movie, like briefly,
Or like what we didn't like about it.
or,
like,
or how do you want to present it? Because this is Hayden's episode, everybody.
What I did for my notes is I just found like a synopsis on IMDb, and I just like copy and pasted it, and everything I didn't like I just like crossed out, but I still left it there so I know like what I took out, and then everything I added I like highlighted so that I knew like, oh, this is something I added in. Because I didn't like completely change everything, I just added some bits and pieces and took out some stuff in like.
Oh, sweet.
So yes.
Oh, yes.
Then do we want to go through the movie and then?
Let's have Hayden lead this.
Yeah.
This is Hayden's thing.
I don't think we can go through it as I'm explaining it, I guess, because like I said, I wrote it all down. Well, not wrote it all down, but copied it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the problem with last episode. We were intermingling our thoughts of the movie with the rewrite, and then it just turned into an ugly mess of us.
So are you saying
That's
want
why-
you want to do thoughts first, and then we can
Uh,
go through it, or
I think it will work fine with how. I think it'll be fine, because this movie, I'm not as very strong opinion about it as I was in the recap. But I still have some sort of feelings like that. I think the movie isn't as terrible as everybody says still.
I will, listening back, I will revise. I don't think it's one of the worst Marvel movies. I just don't think it's definitely not one of the best.
Yeah. Well, re-listening to that
And
episode.
Before, like, all of that, like, there's been a lot of Phase 4 movies that have come out since we recorded that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like I get this feeling from this phase that it's like nothing's really being set up for anything. It's just kind of like movies are just thrown in like, oh, there's a new bad guy. Oh, bad guy gets taken out at the end. It's not like building up to anything.
Yeah.
And like one funny comment that somebody said was like, in a video game when you beat the main story and now it's just all side missions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of, I do feel like that's what it is. But like, I think we were talking about like some of the other phases before and how like phase 1 was good, but then phase
I spill on myself.
phase 2 was bad, but then phase 3 was good, but now phase 4. So with the new Avengers movie coming out in the next phase, I'm wondering if it's just gonna follow that same pattern as. And plus, like, I guess when you think about it, all the COVID stuff happened kind of during this phase, so it's like it's kind of a jumbled mess because of that, because movies got thrown in out of place and probably weren't set up the way they wanted to. So.
I think this is just like this phase so far though has been like side character introduction galore.
Yeah, there's like nothing's happened.
It's not even like passing on the mantle or anything, because like spoilers for movies that are probably going to be talked about in a second.
Well, what movies?
Well, like Hawkeye. There's not really like he's not passing on the mantle to Kate Bishop. She's just introduced. Also, Thor doesn't pass on whatever to Jane Foster because she's dead.
She did for real.
She gone.
I feel like that would have been okay though, like if he passed it on to her.
Oh well, yeah. No, I'm
like I feel like that was the one where everyone was like fine with it. But then they didn't do that.
Well, everybody, I don't know if I would be fine with it, but I think I would have. I was expecting it. There's a lot of things in that movie that I had expectations for, but we can talk about that in our end of the year recap.
Yeah, and it's coming to Disney Plus next week, so we can rewatch it.
Yeah.
Or at least I can probably rewatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I want to eventually make like a tier list of like where all the Marvel movies sit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I since watching this again, I was a little more agitated the first time I watched it in the theaters, but I still don't like the movie necessarily, but I don't hate it as much as I did when I first watched it. I just felt like the shock and awe was there the first time, so I felt more heated about it than I did rewatching it. But
yeah.
Anyways, so one thing, it was kind of hard because I started doing research on it, and a lot of this stuff like starts going into lore of like Doctor Strange in the comics and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And just it was interesting seeing some of the stuff they changed. So there was a deleted scene that the movie was going to start off with. Because I don't know if you guys remember the end of the first Doctor Strange, where the one sorcerer Mordo like goes and takes the power from like a previous like person who trained in the
the guy who like fixed like the paraplegic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Mordo was just kind of like saying like there's too many sorcerers in the world, so he's gonna go like take care of them all. So the movie was gonna start off with him and Wanda, like him going to Wanda's farm and like battling her, and then Mordo ends up dying. But they scrapped that. I thought, my opinion, it was kind of weird how like Wanda from WandaVision they built up her character arc the whole series as to like, oh, she's doing something wrong, but at the end she realized she was doing what she was doing wrong, even though she didn't believe she was in the wrong. And then all of a sudden in this movie, there's just like no like transitioning into it. It's just like all of a sudden, boom, she's a bad guy. I guess that doesn't really easily transition from this scene anyways, but I think they wanted to cut it because they wanted it like to be some kind of lead up to like, oh no, it's a plot twist, Wanda's the bad guy. But like I think it's revealed like in the first 20 minutes of the movie, so I don't feel like it made that much more of a difference to have it like start off with Wanda being the bad guy at the very beginning of the movie versus when they actually put it in.
Yeah, and I feel like the trailer kind of spoiled that too, kind of.
Yeah, so what I did is I kept in that scene, and he still dies, but what they did was interesting. They cut out, or they kept part of it in the way that Mr. Fantastic dies, is the same way that Mordo was gonna die, in the fashion that he like falls apart and then his head gets chopped off, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it that brutal, and that's one of the things that I didn't necessarily like feel was necessary. Like I know gore is more prominent in the comic books, but I feel like where the MCU is with their violence level, it's just a weird switch to all of a sudden have like really heavily implied gore in this movie that it did, versus when it's never been like that way in
it's
the
like
rest of the movies up to this point. But
like usually like all these other like all the movies before this one were more like choreographed. It looked like it was choreographed, while like it's like Disney. It's like made for younger audiences, so they have it more seem like it felt more like when you compare the Doctor Strange movie, like the action bits being more violent, while all the other movies were like all the other movies that feel more like a dance, like it's choreographed, and you see that it's like they're just switching punches, and but because Wanda is so dominant throughout like the movie, it makes her feel more like it shows more like a violent side, and then you see the gore and whatever, which thinking back, and I don't know if gory is the word, but
it's implied. It's heavily implied because it's not necessarily. They do a lot of things like when she's fighting off the like Ultron robots, and also she has like oil all over her face, but it's supposed to be simulated, like it's supposed to imitate blood, but it's not.
It's what changes it from a PG-13, like from a rated R movie to a PG-13.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about it, because like I like horror movies. A lot of like the gore in this and like death scenes are similar to ones from horror movies. But the only difference is like what color the blood is. Yeah. Like either it's just oil, or like in Love and Thunder, when they're at like the place where all the gods are, and everyone's just getting painted in blood. But since it's gold, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, this sucks. And I can get it with the whole the audience is getting older, so they don't want them to see all the baby stuff. But then it's like, okay, but also the older audience is showing their kids this stuff because that's what they grew up on.
I think it was more of a test to see what kind of response it would get with it. And I guess I think from a general standpoint, I think this movie was a little too intense for a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think they'll start trailing back to where they were at.
There's it's just weird that this is the movie they tested this out with. Like it's not unless like the Doctor Strange comic books are more gory than I know of, but I feel like in the What If series they had the zombie episode, and that has like a lot of gore in it, but that's because it's zombies. Like it fits the theme, but like the theming for this movie like wouldn't have fit like the implied gore and stuff. I dialed it back quite a bit.
Yeah.
With that, I didn't keep in the gore as much, but
yeah, like someone's head exploding.
Yeah. So basically, and then one thing to find inspiration, I was kind of having a hard time like pinpointing how like these scenes would play out. One thing I found was as I looked at plot holes for this movie, so like to kind of help get inspiration. One of the plot holes is how Wanda finds out about America. It's like never established like how she knows she exists. Like it's just all of a sudden, oh, Wanda just knows. And so I fixed that plot hole in entrance or the beginning scene where since Mordo's like going through and like killing, or not like killing sorcerers, but just taking their power, he's the one who like tells her, like he figures out that she has the book, the Darkhold book, and then he kind of like figures out like what she's trying to do, like trying to find a way to be with her two sons again. And so he ends up saying like, oh, I've heard of a girl who can travel through multiverse like universes and can help you, like if you spare me, like we can like go find her together. And in this opening shot, if you guys remember from the actual opening scene of the movie where they're in the Gap Junction, which is like the universe between all universes.
With the toilet paper monster?
Yes. So he is actually, let me see if I have a picture of him. I do. Yeah, this guy.
Get a load of that.
So it's not like ever really confirmed this is who the character is, but you can tell it's heavily based off of Cyttorak. And that's just, he's a character in the comics. He's like a god and a demon, and he's responsible for turning Juggernaut, like the big guy in Deadpool 2 at the end of the movie. I think he's like responsible for turning him into like the character. I think that's what it was, but I thought I liked having him more prominent as like helping Wanda through like some of the scenes. So like at the beginning, the way that Mordo dies is that like it's kind of the same to like how the Defender Strange dies in the actual opening scene where the ribbon monster kills him. And then it just kind of ends with like Wanda summoning. It shows like how he's summoned to go find America for Wanda. And then so after that scene plays out, it continues to where it's like the actual movie started, where they're in the Gap Junction. The only thing I changed from this was I didn't keep it so that Doctor Strange or Defender Strange also dies in this opening scene, but he does not go through the portal with America. It's just America, and then Cyttorak also goes in with her.
So, like, she and the monster go through, not Strange?
No. So
okay.
This dying Strange doesn't fall through the like portal with her. He stays behind in the Gap Junction, and then the monster like follows her into the portal. And then it starts then it goes to when he wakes up, and then he ends up going to Christine's wedding, and then it plays out the same. And then so the tentacle monster in the movie that they end up fighting in like the streets of New York is based off of a comic book character that is I want to say it's from like something else, like it's a crossover from like another branded.
I think it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's some sort of Dungeons and
It's
Dragons.
like I want to say it's,
or mythical creature.
I want to say it's Conan, but I like the Barbarian.
Oh, I think I might have heard that. Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, but it's Shuma Gorath is like the actual comic book character.
Shuma Gorath, yeah.
And he's more powerful than like what they end up putting him in the movie. Like it's not much of a fight before they end up killing him. And also I guess that creature is also in What If, like in the very first episode with Captain Carter, like the tentacle monster that's coming through the portal. That's supposed to be him.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out some of the what if elements in this movie that like I didn't like. I didn't care for Captain Carter being in it. Like I don't think anybody was like, oh, we need to see a movie adaptation of Captain Carter. So instead, that same scene plays out, but it's with Cyterax, and what ends up happening is like they don't kill him. America gets scared again, and then a portal opens up, and then he goes through back to the Gap Junction and gets stuck in there.
But does she go through it or not?
No, she stays in the Earth 616 with Strange. I'm trying to remember. I think I ended up taking out the whole like your dreams are your alternate version of yourself. You're like peering into your alternate versions. I just thought that was like, I don't know. I thought that was a little, I don't know the word for it, just tacky, I guess. I don't feel like it was necessary to like play that out. I feel like Doctor Strange is like a more powerful sorcerer that he could have just been like, it could have just been a vision or something. It didn't have to be like, oh, everybody's dreams are their alternate versions of themselves.
They could have.
And then they just play a joke like, oh, the one where I'm running naked or something. Like, that's an alternate like, you know, I thought that was a, I don't know, unnecessary joke.
So instead, it's just like a vision.
It was just a vision he had.
They could have just made an astral projection.
Yeah.
Which, like, some people can do or can't do. That's just basically, like, when you're asleep, your soul goes out of your body and then does whatever.
That's what he's able to do. So, like, that would have made more sense than just, oh, it's your dreams are just alternate versions.
But it's like a further version of, like, it's an updated version of an astral projection.
Yeah.
And with the fight, Doctor Strange still remembers that the monster they were fighting has like the runes and stuff on the ribbons, which he does throughout the comics too. It's like the ribbons are like projected and stuff. And so because of that, he ends up going to talk to Wanda because Wanda's the only one he knows to talk to about like the witchcraft and stuff like that. And then it just plays out the same that he finds out that Wanda's been the one that's been trying to chase after America by sending Cyterax after her. And then it just plays that they go to Carmitage. And then one scene that bugged me, or one little part in that first battle scene that bugged me, was how it seemed really cheesy how they put up like the force field with their magic, and then Wanda like talks to like one of the sorcerers, and like all of a sudden it shows the scene where she just appears behind him. Is like,
I thought that was cool.
It looks cool, but it's
I don't know. It just felt a little too. Like, it didn't seem like magic. It just felt like an easy way not to use like CGI for something, like, or play out a scene. So what I did is I know you watched Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I should have saved a picture of this, but when 11 like searches for people in her mind, she is like completely black, and it's just like water on the floor. I wanted that. Like when Charles Xavier like goes into Wanda's mind, it's like completely white.
Right.
I want it to be the opposite effect for Wanda when she projects. it's just completely black and like that water with trickling.
Mm.
But I wanted like all of a sudden that like sorcerer to be in that headspace where it's just completely black, and then like the red fog like comes up behind him, and then Wanda like jump scares or something at him, and then that's what scares him, and then he takes off, and then it plays out as like she starts attacking them, and she gets trapped in the mirror dimension, and then they end up getting thrown into Earth 838. Also, side note, I think I mentioned this in our recap, how I didn't like how this movie was called Multiverse of Madness, and yet they only focus on two alternate or like the main MCU one and one alternate universe throughout the whole movie. They like do a little like quick montage of like all the other multiverses as they're like going through, but I felt like that was just,
it's just a waste.
it was just a waste. So it either needed to be like cameos galore and going through different multiverses with this, or it needed to not have that title. So I would have just changed the movie to be like Doctor Strange 2 or something instead of...
They could have made it something like Monsters Inc., where they're like running through all the doors.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look at where we are, and they could have just done whatever.
Well,
but I
they
think
could have just ran through.
I think with my rewrite, I didn't want to focus on the aspect of like, oh, all these different multiverses. I just wanted to focus on just a couple, so I didn't want to be like, oh, it's crazy throughout the multiverse. I just wanted to be more focused on the two still. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wouldn't call it Multiverse of Madness. I would just have it like as Doctor Strange 2, or just have a different name that doesn't make you feel like it. Just hearing the title, it makes you feel like it is going to be like a lot of sequences throughout different multiverses, but it's only like in two multiverses, really.
Yeah, it makes it sound like what happened in No Way Home, where like all of the dimensions were all coming together into one. It was all crashing into one.
Yeah. And then they end up getting stuck in Earth 838 and talking to Mordo, which she's the Sorcerer Supreme in that universe. And then kind of what I went through is I went more comic book accurate with this movie, and I thought the Illuminati thing was kind of dumb, I will admit. Mm-hmm. And the more I explain this, the more I realize I keep calling everything in this movie dumb, but hey, don't at me.
You're lucky that...
We're trying to fix it.
I think what they did is the only reason I did keep the Illuminati in my rewrite, but it's only because it's current in the comic books as well. And so because of that, I kept it, but I ended up changing it to the original... Let me see if I can get a bigger picture. The original characters they had inside the Illuminati through the comic books.
Okay.
And I feel like what they were doing was just trying to be more inclusive with, like, there's no females in the comic book version and no black people or anything. It's just kind of all white guys.
Because you can probably... Was it Namor that was in there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they could probably switch him out for someone else.
Well, because he's
probably
more
someone
mind
else.
descent. But, like, who's in that picture for...
So who's in the actual picture is... let me pull it back up. You have Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Charles Xavier, Iron Man, and Namor. There's like who's in like the comic book version. And so what I did is, like I said, I kept it accurate to the comic books, and then this part was kind of fun. Some of the characters I kept that were actually in the movie are kept as kind of the same actors. But I feel like what they did with in the comic books is more like you're bringing a bunch of different groups from like different like side stories, and that's not what the Illuminati in the movie did. Like each one of these group members is kind of like a leader of a faction. And I thought that was way cooler, because then it's bringing all these factions together in one big group versus what the movie did. And just like Captain Carter, like I guess she does stuff with like the Avengers kind of with What If, but like that's not a big thing. And there's also the Rambo, Captain Marvel. Like she's like, it's just not like it's being inclusive in like a different way. I guess I thought it would have been cooler just to have them like as these powerful groups coming together. So Namor, so Sorcerer Supreme Mordor is still, he kind of replaces Doctor Strange when he dies. In that universe. Namor I would have kept in and have him as the actor who they casted for the new Black Panther movie. Since like these movies are so close, I felt like it could have been a good introduction into that character, and then like proceeding forward just be the same character. Also with this, I kind of didn't I didn't worry too much about like the movies that happened after this movie, or like necessarily some of the movies that happened before. Like the way I ended this movie leaves it on a cliffhanger that like would have to go a complete different direction than what like the MCU is doing in the phase right now anyways. And then for the rest of the cast, Black Bolt I would have kept the same as Anson Mount. Reed Richards I would have kept as John Krasinski. Every time anyways. Jim. I would kept
Jim Halpert.
Oh my god.
Just because I didn't like necessarily like the rest of the Mr. Fantastic adaptations. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like this was a fan cast and everybody was excited for that, and I felt like that was good for what it was, so I left it as that.
That would have been fun to have the original Mr. Fantastic though, like from the movies. That
would
have
also been good.
Yeah.
For mine, I just kept it the same, but
not fantastic, not fan. What is it?
Fan favorite? I don't know.
No, the like
fan cast.
No, the Fantastic Four, but the new one where they.
Oh, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, that's what it's. That's what it is. Not him, please.
And then Charles Xavier, I did switch out for James McAvoy, who plays the younger version of Charles Xavier in X-Men. Because I like him as an actor and stuff, and I thought it would have been cool to have like a younger version of him. And with all this X-Men like crossover stuff coming up, they could have used Patrick Stewart for like that stuff instead. Like where this was kind of like just its like own thing necessarily, where with Namor I didn't want it like playing into Black Panther stuff. I wanted it to just kind of be like, since this is a different universe, it stays in that, and then with Black Panther it starts a whole new story.
And I feel like wait, so they are planning on like having the not Fantastic Four, X-Men coming into Marvel?
Yeah, they do, because they bought out like the X-Men, or they made a contract with X-Men. I can't remember if they bought Fox.
They own Fox.
They own Fox.
Disney owns Fox.
Oh, okay.
But they're in some sort of contract with all the actors that they have to use the actors that have been
portrayed.
Yeah, they have to use the cast, and they can't recast them because they're under contract. That's why Quicksilver was played by what's his name in WandaVision, and I think what they're going for.
That's probably what they were doing with Patrick Stewart.
Well,
they're probably gonna have.
I think they're gonna replace a younger Charles Xavier with somebody else, so that's why they probably use and Patrick Stewart's probably more prominent than James McAvoy. And I think they make plans to switch him out with a different actor. But
also, I found out the race car wheelchair is comic book accurate.
Yeah.
And it makes me cringe inside even more. I don't care
not just
that
give him
it's
a regular wheelchair.
Because it's not cool, Amy. This is a different place.
It hit me right as I said it hit me. Wheelchairs are hard to draw, so they just made it a car-looking thing, so it's easier. So you're not getting all the intricate stuff in there too.
Yeah, but
still makes me mad because it's just a movie and they're not drawing it.
But
they should still add like the little ramps for him to
like a little meme where it's just like, oh, I missed this deleted scene, and it's
like kick flipping.
Yeah, he drives down this ramp, hops on, grinds around Doctor Strange, and then spins around everybody in the back, and then gets into position.
I love how everyone's just straight face and like they make it look like they're like watching him do it like.
And they're like shaking their heads like
it's his entrance and they're like,
come on, this is like the 5th time he's done it this week.
We know what he's gonna do.
They just whisper to each other like, why does he have to do this every time? It's not even that cool. He learned this last week.
They're like, yeah, Wade Wilson shouldn't have made any comments being like, hey, you know, it'd be a really good idea. I think it'd be sick if you did any tricks. And Charles is like, Deadpool, that's a great idea.
And then so I had one more cast, and this one was also a fan cast. Mm-hmm. So Iron Man is part of the Illuminati, but this would be a different version of Iron Man, which is...
Dude, I'm pumped, because this is what I wanted to. I know exactly what you're doing.
Superior Iron Man, who's portrayed by none other than Tom Cruise.
Dude, I can't believe, like, that was the thing that I was so pumped for.
Can he please make a Scientology comment? Please? That'd be hilarious.
That
looks sick.
Yeah, so in the comics, Superior Iron Man is like from a universe where all of like the superheroes turn bad and then everybody turns back to good, but he's the only one who doesn't turn back to good. And so the comic book version looks like Tom Cruise already, so that's why a lot of people wanted to fan cast him in Doctor Strange.
Well, he was also in like I think it was between RDJ and Tom Cruise
that's
for
true,
original Iron Man.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people wanted to see him like as an Iron Man, and so I would have kept that in and then had him the founder of the Illuminati, and I think Doctor Strange was the founder. I can't remember, but and so the scene plays out where like they're all introduced, and then it shows the flashback of Doctor Strange being killed because he tried to stop Thanos with the Book of Ashanti, and
that's the
dark. He tried to use the dark hold, and then he found the Book of Ashanti. I can't remember. But anyways, they ended up killing him because he caused an incursion on their universe. So they had to kill him so that like the incursion would stop.
Wait, so is it an incursion? That's like what happened in Spider-Man, right? Or what?
It's like when in Multiverse of Madness, when they go to the one and there's the evil version of Doctor Strange, and like the buildings are like floating in the air and
things got out of hand.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's like what happens is like the universe is like, and that's kind of a theme I've noticed in like recent movies in this phase and like TV shows and stuff, because in Miss Marvel, that's also, spoiler, a prominent thing that like Miss Marvel is like part of a species of like aliens that from this planet, and they're trying to like come over to this planet, and it's doing the same thing where it's like one universe is going to take over the other and like destroy the other one or something like that. And like that's like that in Miss Marvel, this one, and I just blinked on the other one. Oh, and like Spider-Man, where it's like universes are being destroyed because they're coming together.
Mm-hmm. Do you think all this happened because of Spider-Man, or no? Like,
no,
it just
well, I
happened
mean, like
anyways?
multiverse stuff has been prominent in the comics, so I feel like I think what we talked about in the top Marvel movies, like Spider-Verse was like kind of the first one to like start doing stuff like this, and I feel like with Marvel, they're like, oh, this movie did good. Let's bank off of that and stuff.
And then a lot of other things did it too.
Yeah. I just feel like that's just kind of where the world of like superhero movies is right now. Is just everyone's banking off of multiverse stuff. One thing I did not care for was like, so it felt like they used it. Well, and I think like the movie was supposed to be longer than it was, and then they cut down time. But then there's one scene in there. I'm like, if they cut down time, but they left this in, it felt like a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like they added this scene in just to like add more movie time to it or running time. Is the scene where Wanda first starts dream walking, and then that one sorcerer like goes and destroys the book, and then she dies, and then Wong takes her to the castle Wondercore, and then she starts dream walking again. I feel like that time between when she first starts dream walking to the second one, it was just kind of wasted. Like, wasn't necessary. Like, she just starts dream walking. Oh, then she starts dream walking again.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel necessary to like have that in there. So I kind of put it in like the book doesn't have the spell for dream walking in it, but it tells of Mount Wondercore, which has this original runes and spells for dream walking. And so that scene plays out different, where Wanda's just telling Wong like, I need you to take me to Mount Wondercore, and so that she can do this spell to get to that universe. And it would make sense if she's reading through the book that like she would have learned of Mount Wondercore this way. And then it plays out.
They probably could have had it like, so if like you want to keep Wong with her and like she takes him with her to Mount Wondercore, it could just say in the book like, oh yeah, the only person that knows about Mount Wondercore is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
And since he's technically that one, she can be like, come on, we're going.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Yeah. And then plays out to where she starts dream walking, and lost my train of thought. She starts dream walking and then gets to the headquarters of the Illuminati. And then so it plays out, and instead I didn't, like I said, I kind of took out like implied gore aspect in the movie. So I wanted to like, and I thought it would have been cooler to have like Wanda use her magic to like use the Illuminati's like powers against them. I thought that would have been more creative directive than just like, oh, she just goes in and slaughters everyone. And the more I thought about it too, like I thought it was weird that Wanda like all of a sudden is just murderous and like just slaughtering people, like when that's like not. And I know like with the Darkhold, like that's supposed to bring out like the bad side of her, but I still feel like that's weird, like all of a sudden like her intentions weren't like strong enough to just kill people.
Yeah.
So
They could have just.
but as I think about it, like technically with Black Bolt he ends up killing himself with his own powers, and then it just kind of like goes off the wire from there.
Because she rips his mouth off.
Yeah, but still, I want it to be that like Iron Man is the one that first talks to her, just saying like, oh, like you can't defeat us, like you need to go back to your universe and stuff. And thinking about how I played this out, I was kind of iffy about how I wrote out this scene, but I just wanted like whatever powers that these characters had, like Wanda finds a way to flip it on them. So like Wanda would have with Iron Man's like arc reactor, she would have like found a way to like crush it so he like just collapses, but it doesn't necessarily kill him.
Yeah, they could have just had her like in Infinity War, how like Thanos doesn't like kill all the Guardians, who just like, I'm gonna turn you into silly strings and I'll turn you into a Minecraft guy, but then you guys will turn back once I leave.
Yeah.
Like just do that, so then you can just use those characters later. But if you don't, it's fine too, because they're in another universe. You don't have to use them.
Yeah, and then I was gonna use it like that she like controls Mr. Fantastic's like arms to like somehow incapacitate Black Bolt, so like Black Bolt's not going to use his voice because it would hurt Mr. Fantastic in the process. So that incapacitates those two. And then like Namor like controls water and stuff, so like I did something stupid, just like
sucks the water out of him.
No, just like just freezing him or something, I don't know, but
Put him in a little fire cage.
Takes a fish and just hucks it. And he's just like, no! I gotta go get the fish! Just like the Aquaman in the Harley Quinn show, where it's just like, what are you doing? This fish can't be in chlorine.
This is a saltwater fish, not freshwater. You idiots. I was just thinking of The Incredibles when they're like in the building. He's like, "There's no water in this air."
Yeah. It's quickly evaporating. I'm thirsty. Okay, you had your drink. I know. Freeze.
Wow.
I love this for us.
And then same scene, and then with this scene, Charles Xavier also goes with him originally to like stop Wanda. He doesn't stay behind to talk to Strange for a minute.
Does he die or does?
No.
Wait, isn't he like camping out some? Wait, what the heck is he doing? Where is he?
Where's who?
Well, he's in
Professor X.
He's in a wheelchair, so it probably took him a minute to get there.
No, I was just trying to think of like where he was in that scene because I know there's the part where he like goes into her brain and he's like,
he's not in. Like,
I'm helping you
originally,
out of trouble.
all of them except for Charles Xavier go to like confront her.
Oh, does she?
He stays behind, and then she gets up to like that cell that like America's in. And then he comes in, he's like, you need to stop, and then he gets in her mind.
He's like, oh, I gotta be an old man and get in her mind.
But then, and then so that same scene to play out where he enters her mind, and then, she wouldn't snap his neck, he would just like...
He'd be like, dunk, just flick him.
Or something, I don't know. And then so it just goes through the rest of the scenes where they go like underneath the sewers, and then they get to the Gap Junction, but surprise, surprise, the Cyrax is still in there and they forgot or something. So
he's been vibing.
Yeah, he's just been hanging out, and then he like holds them down, and then that's when.
Oh, so he catches everybody?
He catches everybody, and then Wanda comes in from behind and uses, or just scares America to use her powers to send him to the next universe they go into.
Yeah. So is Christine in this movie?
Yeah, so Christine is like throughout this, like this, she is still like the scientist of like the
okay, so her position is still the same.
She's still like with the group at this point. So there was some comic book accurate stuff that I did like and some stuff I didn't like. His third eye is apparently really present in the comic books, but I thought the third eye is really stupid. So
it just looks better as a drawing than like an actual thing.
Yeah, so I just took out the third eye thing.
We don't need that.
And just put another face on the back of his head like Voldemort.
Or just do Kung Pao and just add a face to his tongue.
Yay! Give him black fingers like Wanda.
And then I was gonna have the next scene play out where
I didn't use toilet paper.
That's disgusting.
I have poo on my fingertips, and my poo is black.
Wow. I love this.
I eat a lot of tar.
In my universe, our Cheetos are black. I got just Cheeto dust.
That's disgusting.
It's
Dude,
great
give
flavor.
him a Minnie Maui tattoo type thing.
A what?
Like a Minnie Maui tattoo.
What the heck is a mini Maui? Oh, miniature Maui from...
Yeah!
Moana.
Oh, from Moana?
Who James Baxter animated.
Oh, James Baxter.
James Baxter.
It all comes back to James.
Oh, James.
Shout out to you, James. This is for you. Anyways. And then I would have put, because everyone... I felt like there was some stuff in here that, like, through the trailers people were getting excited for, and then just completely was not in the movie. Like everyone thought the What If Doctor Strange was in it from the trailer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I put him in because why didn't they do that? That would have been so good.
He could have been in the little circle thing that he was in for however long, and they could have just had that little house, and it just looked like that in there.
Yeah.
What?
You know,
And what if
he
when
like
he,
well
when
that's
it's
like the incursion. Like that's a good
Mhm.
example of an incursion. Is in that universe, like everything starts to get destroyed, and it's
Mhm.
him left because of it.
yeah.
So
Where
because
he's
it's an
sucking the
incursion,
souls out
it
of
makes
everything?
sense because.
Whoa.
And what if there's an incursion that happens in his universe and then he gets by himself? So it makes sense they do the same thing in Doctor Strange, but they didn't.
Then you could have made a comment like, "What the heck is happening?" and then just have a pair of eyes just open up in the sky and be like, "Whoa!"
The Watcher, the pervert.
It's him.
God,
is that you? No.
Okay. See ya.
No. Close his eyes and leaves.
Wow. But then him and the other Strange battle, and then he ends up like trapping him long enough so that he could steal the Darkhold book. And then he finds a way to get back to the Gap Junction where Christine is at. So in this one, Christine stays back in the Gap Junction, and Strange is the only one who gets sent to.
Wait, with the
one.
with Dark Doctor Strange in this movie, the not What If Doctor Strange, did he have a third eye or no?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Remember, he falls out of the building and like dies, and then Christine looks at him, and then just that one eye opens, and she's like, "Ah!"
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Such a bad choice. I hate it.
I get. Someone explained it where it's like, with the Darkhold, since Wanda uses like her hands for magic, that's why her hands are black. But then Doctor Strange uses like a different kind of magic that like uses his mind, so then it opens up his third eye, which makes sense. It makes sense, but it just looks awful.
It could have just been like, it's the same thing with Wanda. Her fingers are black, so like that.
They could have just made eyes on his hands.
She touched
just like
it.
the
That would have been
touched
gross. The eyes
Just-
on the hand.
Exactly. You could have just done the I forgot what his name is or what movie he's in. I think it's Pan's Labyrinth, but it's a guy with like little eyeballs and he sticks them in his hands and he's like, "Ooh, I see you, because I'm blind."
I don't like that.
Let me show you.
No, I know what it looks like. I just don't like it.
It scares me.
You can continue.
Yeah. Anyway, so Strange goes back to the Gap Junction and Christine was with him the whole time. And then they go back to the Gap Junction, and Christine goes back into her universe to like try to help the Illuminati. And then Strange gets back to his universe. And that's when they have their little love scene, like, "I've always loved you in every universe."
You
don't know that!
And peace out!
I gotta go be a bad boy and get the spirits in me.
Which is that's a bunch of BS. Like, not every universe is gonna have the same love interest or the same kids.
Yeah.
Which gets me with oh my goodness, Wanda being like, "Oh yeah, it just so happens that in every universe I have kids, except in mine, which sucks. So I'm gonna steal someone else's kids because I deserve it." When it's like, no. There's other Wandas that probably don't have kids either.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. And then Doctor Strange reunites with Wong. So you'll notice I took out a key component in that last scene. There's no zombie Doctor Strange. Once again, it's just an element from something else that like didn't fit in this. Like I understand.
It looks visually nice, like compared to like the third eye, but it's like, oh, you didn't really need that.
So
like it just makes it look like in the like if they added it in the trailers, they make it look like, "Oh, look guys, it's another Doctor Strange from another universe."
Well,
wow,
I feel like they were
so many universes, guys.
And they were trying to bank off the Marvel zombie stuff, but like this wasn't technically part of it. They're just like, "Oh look, zombie Doctor Strange." Whoa. Like, if you're gonna use it like with Marvel zombies, like I think using in the right context would have been better than just throwing in a zombie version of Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Are they making a Marvel Zombies?
Yeah.
Yes, they are
Okay.
now.
It's gonna
I
be
think
a
it's
TV series.
TV series.
Oh.
And it's going to be in the style of like What If, kind of like that comic.
And
book.
it's put down as
Mhm.
TV-14, so it's gonna be
Gory.
Gordo.
Gordo.
It'll be looking like a Gordo.
Wow.
A gourd.
And then so
Oh, I love
Wong.
pumpkins.
You... Oh my god. That took me a second. Wait, what? Pumpkins.
I
Where are
like-
the pumpkins?
I like how I didn't even say pumpkins. I said pumpkins.
Pumpkins. Yes.
So did something happen to Defender Doctor Strange?
Yeah, he just died.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only context with Defender Strange is that like America's like met a Doctor Strange before, and she's like, oh, like I don't really trust you because the last one. And like one thing I thought was dumb that like Defender Strange and Wanda. The only reason I can see Wanda knowing how to like absorb somebody's power is because of the Darkhold, but like Defender Strange, from what we know, didn't have a hold of the Darkhold.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't like it just doesn't make sense that all of a sudden like he would know how to take her power. So I just kind of like I took that aspect of it away in the sense that only Wanda really knows how to do that. Although I think in the comics that's like kind of a power he has, but like it's not really prevalent.
In my universe, the Darkhold is a good thing. That's the excuse.
In my universe, the Jedi are evil.
But then Wong and Doctor Strange fight Wanda, and Wanda there was also another scene. I don't know where in the movie it would have been placed. It would have either been the first time she attacked the one temple, or in this scene. But they were gonna show, like I said, with Mordo when he gets killed in the very beginning. They were gonna show his like severed head. She was gonna be like, "Oh, you need to listen to me. This is the last sorcerer that like betrayed or like crossed me." And
Look at
just
that
like
guy up there.
dead head.
2
seconds. I actually think I do have a picture of it, like the concept art for that.
Ooh.
Whoa, concept art?
More like
Your mom set art.
Your mom sucks at art.
This is it.
Wow.
So I was gonna leave that kind of in, but it wouldn't just be his head. It would just be like his dead body, and she would just
It's a skeleton.
to use it like as a scare tactic and just like yeah.
Just opens the portal. He's just laying there. It's
With
like,
ketchup.
look at him. He's
Ketchup
dead.
all over
But
him.
they're confused and then easily defeated. And then Strange still inspires like Chavez to like find it in herself to
Who?
America.
Chavez.
Oh,
That's her last name.
I got confused
I
first.
wrote down as Chavez, so that's why I said it. But yeah, America.
Are you still gonna add in the scene where a random sewer hold is also a button to like your mind memories?
Absolutely not that. There was some
Pizza ball?
No. Also, I'm the director in this one, so I'm not Sammy Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Sammy Raimi.
Sammy Raimi. And all... So a lot of that stuff is like throwbacks to his old movies. So...
Like the memory thing? Or just that universe?
Well, like
Pizza
with
ball.
the pizza ball thing. Like,
Mhm.
that's Ash. So, like...
Yeah,
like,
that's...
So, like... Yeah, there's scenes with that where it's like throwbacks to his old movies. But I thought it was dumb. It's like it's an MCU movie. It's like shouldn't be calling back to a bunch of horror movies, I guess. But because the only reason it did that was because it was the same director for those horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's me rewriting it, like I just and the synopsis
Sorry,
didn't.
pizza ball man.
Yeah. So the synopsis didn't add. Whoever wrote the synopsis didn't like add some of those scenes. So like that's why I haven't mentioned them.
Yeah.
Like the scene where it shows America using her powers for the first time, and like her moms get just thrown into the vast universe and never to be seen again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would necessarily keep that in there. Like I feel like they should have. I didn't think about it, but like they should have had more backstory to America to make her more redeemable than they did, because that's the only backstory they give her is like, oh, I got scared by a bee and then my mom's disappeared. Like, that's it.
Dude, not Jerry Seinfeld.
It's like, you like jazz?
But
your moms get blasted off into the universe.
But anyways, and then so the ending of the movie just kind of plays out the same, where that she goes into the one universe and realizes that like the two kids see her like as a monster, and then so she decides like, oh, I like once again like in WandaVision, she like finally realizes what she's been doing, and then she brings down Mount Wondercore on her.
But here's the real question: is she dead?
No, here's the real question. Do the kids sing the ice cream song to their mother? Mom, I want some ice cream. Please give it to me. Please. I love you. That's how the song goes.
Yeah. Is that from the movie or from the show?
That's from the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like, Mom, get a load of this.
Mom, we're gonna perform something for you. Get a load of this.
That's exactly how it goes.
Okay, but where's Vision in all of these universes, though?
Oh,
you wait.
Speaking of that.
Okay, so, and so it ends. They return to Carmitage, and as they're rebuilding it, and then they're starting to train America to like use her powers and stuff, or use magic and stuff. And then it plays out that Strange goes back to New York, and he repairs the watch that Christine gave him, and he goes for a walk afterwards. And then so, with the two end credit scenes that they had in the movie, I read up on why there's the stupid second end credit scene where he's just like, it's over!
well, it's
supposed to, like, because this movie was so intense, it's supposed to, like, oh, you're jumping back from all these multiverses and the audience is captive in that. That was supposed to be, like, an icebreaker so that you, like, break out and you're like, oh, I'm back in my own reality. That's the purpose of that scene.
That's so cool. It's so inventive. I love it.
But I feel like that's a dumb way to market your movie. Like, oh, it's so intense. We got to put an icebreaker at the end so people feel relieved after. Like, I feel like some of the most impactful movies, like, don't have that aspect. They're, like, want to keep you, like, thinking afterwards and not, like, want to break you out of, like a
Inception.
trance. Yeah, so, like, I feel like because, like I said, I'm rewriting it, not the director.
Not
so,
Samus Gravy.
Samus
Gravy.
So when he goes for his walk, it ends up being that scene where the blonde, like, sorceress approaches him.
Dude,
which her name
Circe
is
from Wonder Woman's comics?
Nope.
It's
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name. I think it's like Leia or Leah or something like that.
Whoa, Princess
No,
Leia?
not Leia.
Yeah, Princess Leia is pretty cool.
Anyways, she's like, I guess, like a love interest of Doctor Strange in the comic books, and is like pretty prevalent, like in his story and stuff. So like it would have just played out as the movie ending with that end credit scene, and then the movie ends, and then it goes to credits, and there's only one end credit scene, and this one I made from scratch myself. Like, I thought of this.
Ooh, baby.
And I was really like, I wanted to focus in like some of the aspects of like the cinematography for this. So like the credits would roll, and then it would play out as like, it would just be just like a black shot, and you just hear like the wind of like the snowy wind from Mount Wondercore, like just like that's the only thing you hear. And then it just all of a sudden pops in, and it shows like the rubble and stuff from the castle that Wanda just destroyed. And all of it's just kind of like just that wind for like 30 seconds or so, and then you just hear a crash, like a glass shattering noise, and then from the top of the screen, you just see these two metal boots come like from
Little little Pete's.
two little Pete's. And then you would also see a red cape come down with it.
Superman.
No,
Dude!
not Superman.
No, Sam, it's Icarus.
Oh.
I don't want
And
No, it's
then
Homelander.
here's the
Dude.
best cameo in this movie. And then you just hear the voice of none other than good old James Spader talking. And then he just states that Wanda, like, it was a wasted potential. And then, so from What If, it is
No
the Infinity
way.
Ultron. And then, like, you just see the shot of, like, all of a sudden you see the green glow as Mount Wondercore, like, starts to, like, reverse.
Dude, the ultimate power couple.
Yeah, so...
Dude.
And then the screen blacks out. The end of the movie.
Dude, that's
And
freaking
that's
sick.
that's what I kind of meant by, like, I didn't really care where the movies went from here. I just, like, I wanted this shot, like, at the end of the movie where, like, all these what if aspects they put in it, I felt like there could have been cooler what if aspects. So, like, I felt like it would have been a cool way to introduce, like, Infinity Ultron.
That is sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, that's it.
Nice.
It's
Well,
over.
It's over!
I mean,
I like
the
it.
only problem I have, the biggest gripe I have with it, is that you altered like the best scene in the movie
What?
Which is...
when the freaking Illuminati gets wrecked. But it's whatever.
That's the most
It's just-
controversial scene in that
It's
movie.
the best. I
It's
love it.
wasted potential.
It's sick.
But also, I guess with almost every universe that Wanda goes into, it just so happens to be that her kids are okay and she's just a single mom. So I guess we can just sit there and be like, they can be in another universe, same
They're
exact way.
fine.
They just won't have pizza balls. They'll have
Pizza
pizza
balls.
squares,
Pizza squares.
pizza cubes.
The pizza pyramid.
Whoa!
If you were to have a pizza that wasn't in triangle form, what would you have?
Probably a ball.
Nah, I don't think I could have it in a ball.
Not even like a little like that.
Too greasy.
Pizza's not already greasy enough. Though.
Or would it just be like a pizza roll?
Be like a pizza roll, but like on the outside.
I'd rather have it on the inside, but also I feel like that's just molten cheese
Yeah.
and you're gonna die from it.
Just like deep fried pizza balls.
Dude, just make it a corn dog, but pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza on a
Bro.
or
Pizza dog.
pizza in a cone. Pizza cone.
Ooh.
Boy.
Dude.
Okay, we're
No, just
starting
get
a
a cone.
fast food chain where
No,
where
just-
we have pizza corn dogs.
No, just do a cone and like have the melted cheese in it, and then you can also add like whatever other pizza toppings, and then do breadsticks to like dip it in.
So you're just having fancy mozzarella sticks with cheese.
Not mozzarella
Sorry.
sticks.
Sorry,
Actually, it could be.
breadsticks with mozzarella cheese as a dip.
Yeah, because it's pizza, Sam. Oh, dude.
Bro.
That was pretty good, though. I like it.
Yeah. I restarted like 5 times because I kept not liking how I was like
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were like, ooh, and we got something that's gonna, like when you were talking about end credit scenes, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to see if there's like Superior Iron Man would come in at the end of it and just be like, I swear vengeance upon Doctor Strange. She brought this whole old hag into this place and she killed everybody. But then you changed up the whole scene where it's just like, I defeated everybody. I'm like, oh, no death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness 2.0. Not that bad.
Like more than the original.
I think it's about the same. Because I liked the movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
Were you gonna continue?
Well, I just no.
No.
I liked them both.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because you guys don't like them. But yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on
Leave
YouTube.
a comment if Sam should watch Steven Universe.
Leave a comment if Amy is a doo-doo head. I need 500 likes on that one.
Comment which Amy you like more.
You like me?
Yo, stop. You're supposed to be dead.
Follow us on Instagram at AJS_podcast. Look for us on Spotify. Like, if you're on Spotify, leave us a review. Leave the like. Follow us. I don't know what you do on... I'm bad at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Do what you do on there to help support us. And
give us suggestions on what movies we can also rewrite.
Yeah.
Or just talk about in general.
Yeah. Support Amy's art page. That's Babby_Yammy. And yeah. As to quote Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, bon voyage.